There can be little doubt that the printing and completion of the powerful body of work, known as the First Folio, within the 7 years after the death of the alleged author William Shakespeare, from Stratford, must have been done by a highly competent and informed publisher. It has long been known that a professional scribe, Ralph Crane, acted as a key figure in the printing of the First Folio. Crane produced multiple transcripts of Shakespeare's plays over a decade and more. None has survived. There is modern scholarly consensus that Crane transcripts constituted the copy from set into type for the First Folio, such as The Tempest, The Two Gentlemen of Verona, The Merry Wives of Windsor, Measure for Measure, The Winter's Tale, Othello, and other folio texts. From Henry IV, Part 2 to Timon of Athens. Crane's scribal essentials included significant stage directions, speech prefixes, punctuation and other significant specifics. And Crane's work was not restricted to Shakespearean manuscripts. Also, other transcripts of Middleton, Beaumont and Fletcher and others, and even of Burbage's last will. You should ask yourself, who was this strange Ralph Crane? His close connections with Shakespeare's First Folio plays has led to his being called Shakespeare's first editor by Trevor H. Howard Hill in 1992. All we know of Crane we must extract from his single work, The Works of Mercy, First Edition, 1621, or, from the Second Edition, 1625 with a new title, The Pilgrim's New Year's Gift. From both editions together, we get significant informations about personal matters from Ralph Crane. A. From the author's preface, 8 poems on 8 pages. And B. From the author's induction, 17 pages with 26 lines, in verses. Let's read a few excerpts from Ralph Crane's 2 prefaces and try to interpret them. Much variation I have had since then with one blessed gift, a ready writer's pen, the use whereof is not extinguished yet. First, was I 7 years servant, painful clerk unto a clerk of the council.
We learn from a gifted writer, who is still alive, not extinguished yet, and still writing, serving as a clerk, to the Privy Council.
One special sacrifice, unto his worth, whom I call his master, that hapless, thence I flipped, wanting firm hold. I only sigh the fate, but leave it untold.
The sacrifice, he brought to his supervisor, to save his highly endangered life, by changing his identity and name, wanting firm hold. Ended hapless, thence he flipped. He could only sigh about his fatal fate, since he had to leave it untold, that is, he had promised never ever to disclose it.
But most of all, does my laborious hand, amongst renowned lawyers, stand a monument. Each court vouchsafing me such matter of report.
There already exists a monument of him, due to his laborious hand. Each office and court would acknowledge this report.
And some employment has my useful pen had amongst those well-deserving men that grace the stage with honor and delight, of whose true honesties I much could write, but will comprise it under the kingly serve.
His pen had some use amongst civilization, which graced the stage with honor and delight. He could write much about honest truths, but he will seal it under the king's service.
For so have I lost my good. Look, this has been my life's sad pilgrimage unto this hour, the evening of my age.
Ralph Crane explains that he had lost all his goods, and this had been his life's sad pilgrimage, which is lasting until today, now grown old. Assuming the age of Marlowe, 57.
If death's dark night, my sight-deprived eyes, a shaking hand, or aught else should arise, before I had consecrated, with my name, some speaking honor, too. There, living fame.
His banishment required that someone else, a shaking hand should arise, before he had consecrated with his name, some playwright honors to the living fame of others.
The preface of Crane's second edition, The Pilgrim's Gift, in 1625, became dramatically changed, compared to Crane's first edition, The Mercy, in 1621, even though most of the old text parts remained embedded. Be aware that in the meantime, the Stratford Monument, as well as the First Folio had been established. The altered and newly added text passages only make sense, in almost every respect, if we assume that Ralph Crane was the still living true poet, Shakespeare. Just listen to a stunning excerpt of page 11, which Crane had modified in 1625. On page 10, Crane revealed that he remained free and guarded, had neither injuries, nor did he die for this. He brought, allegorically, his sacrifice of thanks, with a monument eternal, explaining it, amazingly on the next page. This simple epitaph, which I, alone beforehand for myself, had thus composed, that some remembrance may remain of me. By this dying elegy, behold a wonder friend. Oh, stay and read, and make this spectacle thy president. Note: a visitor of the Stratford Monument, in the same way, is asked on the epitaph, stay and read, passenger, if thou canst. Here, buried lies a man, that is not dead. Death's dart was sharpened with life. Death then repent, and cease to vaunt. Thou hast not made him bow. Wow, what an incredible, previously unnoticed disclosure. The true Shakespeare composed his epitaph, for the Stratford Monument, beforehand. Ralph Crane, the first editor of the First Folio, is definitely identical with the true Shakespeare, and must have belonged to the multiplicity of the pen names of him. Ralph Crane's absolute stunning confession. Here buried lies a man, that is not dead. Makes complete sense, if you accept that the Shakespeare-Marlowe authorship theory is correct.